With 35 years of copywriting and advertising expertise to his name, it's no surprise that Bob Veder always had a knack for writing, although it took him until college to discover it. Upon graduation from high school, Mr. Veder had aspirations to enlist in the Marine Corps with his friends, but his mother objected to that, allowing him instead to join the Navy. After he joined, he was asked by a recruiter what kind of role he wanted to play in the service, to which he said he would either work in the deck or in the kitchen as a cook. Due to his very high academic scores, the recruiter was astounded. He subsequently served as an electronics technician in the service for a little under 4 years. While a junior at Hunter College, the New York native started writing fiction short stories and subsequently winning short story contests, and before long he was appointed editor of the school's literary magazine. Upon graduating with an English degree in 1965, he made the decision to pursue his dream of becoming a professional fiction writer. He quickly learned, however, that budding fiction writers did not make a lot of money. He was encouraged by a friend to earn a living with freelance copywriting for advertising and other companies while he wrote stories in his free time. Mr. Veder did not know the first thing about copywriting, so he enrolled in a course at New York University taught by the creative director from a major agency. Through the class, he was able to work on ads and TV commercials and develop a portfolio of his work. Mr. Veder began sending humorous letters about his life and his uncle, who raised funds for the United Jewish Appeal in lieu of formal resumes to every advertising agency in New York, from which he received 8 responses, one being from Compton Advertising. The creative director of the agency offered him a junior copywriter position with a salary of $90 a week, which he took, but only for about 6 months. He sent his portfolio around and was eventually hired at a little agency, Campbell E. Walden of New York, which was an offshoot of Campbell E. Walden of Detroit. After 6 months, he received a raise and started working on award-winning accounts. During this time, he was still writing fiction and submitting short stories wherever he could. He lived in Yonkers in a building whose superintendent's brother was a swift boat pilot during the Vietnam War. He led the boat up canals to get people from the villages out before the Navy went in. Mr. Veder extracted every story and bit of information he could from him and ultimately wrote a novel about the war based on all he learned. But when he sent the text to Random House Publishing, while the editor there wanted to publish it, the head of the department rejecting it, saying nobody wanted to read a novel about the Vietnam War. While sending it around to other publishers, he continued composing short stories, getting about 22 published in various literary magazines over time. The book was eventually released, much to his satisfaction. Mr. Veder's next place of employment was an agency that handled all the print ads for the New York Times Sunday supplement for Talon zippers. He was a fast worker, and so churning out 52 ads a year was not an issue for him. He hit his stride and won many awards for his work writing funny ads. He made his way to Gray Advertising, where his first assignment was an ad for Canada Dry Club Soda. Nobody wanted to work on this account because there was nothing exciting or interesting to say about the product. But he went the extra step and spoke with the engineers in a research department in Connecticut, one of whom said that a bottle of Canada Dry Club Soda could stay open for 72 hours without losing its fizz or bubbles. This was a light bulb moment for him. The agency created a commercial that took advantage of this concept, locking a man in a room for 2 days with a bottle of soda, which of course was shown to remain fresh and full of fizz. The tagline of the ad was Canada Dry Club Soda with a long-lasting bubble. The commercial ultimately won Best Commercial of the Year at an awards ceremony at Lincoln Center. At Gray Advertising, Mr. Veder became a leading member of what was referred to as the creative SWAT team. Whenever there was a problem on an account or advertisers were stuck with regard to selling a product, he would get called in. He was a pivotal creative force in extremely effective commercials for Panasonic's newly released mobile phone at the time, and one for the Ford Mustang II. The highlight of his advertising career, he noted, was his pro bono work on a commercial for the Anti-Defamation League that promoted integration in America. In 1983, a suspense book of his, Playing with Fire, was released on paperback. Outside of his primary professional endeavors, Mr. Veder has taught at a school for visual arts, focusing his instruction on print advertisements and commercials. In this class, he would teach that there should always be a concept, a visual, and a headline. All of these factors have to work together to create a significant ad. In his retirement, he has dedicated his time to being a full-time antiques dealer and collector, along with his wife of nearly 30 years, Tina, whom he met through advertising. Together they restore old carousels in addition to his favorite items, such as original World War I and World War II posters and banners, Wild West posters, early county store advertising papers, tin signs, trade carvings, and ship figureheads, among many others. Looking toward the future, Mr. Veder hopes to release all of his unpublished novels and plays, of which there are between 15 to 20. He also encouraged the future generation of professionals to leave your ego at the door and be considerate of the people you are working with. Looking back on his career, he hopes to be remembered for always having fun.